Greetings, my dear people of Amazonia, and welcome to this very special broadcast this Saturday. This is an impromptu broadcast. Of course, you know this is not scheduled because we will have our regular broadcast this Sunday, and this Sunday will be March 12th, 2023. And of course, like I said earlier, this Sunday is gonna be 9 p.m. Amber time. And so, my people of Amazonia, I'm coming here today with this very special and important message for our people. You know, when I was here the last time, and that was Thursday, I talked elaborately about the upcoming AAC, and that's the All Amazonia Conference. And of course, I read a lot of reactions that came in. And like I said before, that each time we're about to hatch something interesting that will have the potential to take us forward, of course, we should expect that La République du Cameroon, that generally excels but in divide and rule, will not hesitate to jump in. So I'm sure in the past couple of days, you have heard all kinds of audios flying from left and right, and a good lot of them targeting my person. Well, like I said before, I usually would not like to use this platform to address such inanities because, as I've always said, La République du Cameroon is big enough for me to continue punching them until they understand the need to leave our territory. Someone sent me an excerpt of a television broadcast where members of some group sat there in a panel, and all they could see or all they could talk about was, call John Bakuro names, say all kinds of derogatory things and all whatnot, and even try to attack the fundraiser that is ongoing for us to equip our people on the ground with effective communication, and at the same time attacking the AAC on claims and on grounds that we didn't bring in all the parties to convene. And I have this little observation to make. In general, for all the meetings, the big come-togethers that we have had, there's always been a convener. It's not all the groups that came out at the same time as the conveners. There've always been conveners, and people have attended. When I recall, the very first one was the first CACUF meeting that took place in Nigeria, in Lagos, Nigeria, which I attended. That was in 2017. That one was actually convened by, I should say, an unknown group of Amazonians in South Africa. And that didn't stop all the others from coming in from all parts of the world to attend. The second CACUF meeting, or the second, in fact, that first meeting is the meeting that led to the creation of SCACUF. And the second one was still convened by the same people, and we all attended. And I should say, even the conclaves, but just I should call that conclave 1, conclave 2, right up to conclave 4, not all the groups were conveners. When I leave from there and I come to the Washington Collaborative Conference, the Washington Collaborative Conference was not convened by all the groups. At the time, we came in to convene the Washington Collaborative Conference in tandem with the IG group at the time led by Samuel Saku, and with the SCNC and the SCYL at the time was called the SCYL. The Egg of Sea had called for a similar meeting in Canada, but at the end of the day, they aborted that meeting in Canada and joined us in Washington, D.C. for that very big conference where we were able to pull a crowd of over 7,000 at the White House within the framework of what we call then the Washington Collaborative Conference. And after that, we had again the All Southern Cameroons People's Conference, the ASCPC. This initiative was brought by Dr. Fontemneba Afotekar. And Dr. Fontemneba, at the time, had just come into the United States of America. He brought that idea, and we saw that it was a good thing, was a good initiative, and so therefore we set out there to rally all the groups to come behind it. And he ended up as a convener. I'm sure you saw a number of letters that were signed up, that he signed and named himself the convener. But we all attended. So the outcry today, therefore, that there are some people who have come together and decided to convene a conference because they want to appropriate Amazonia to themselves, it simply makes me laugh. And what is even more is that on that panel discussion on that TV channel, the members of this group were at the same time expressing frustration that this conference has been convened just when they have convened their own conference for Washington, D.C. in May of 2023. Did you hear that? They have convened their own conference. Now, who were the co-conveners? Did they get everybody together to convene this conference? No, that group convened its conference in Washington, D.C. in May of 2023, all alone. But Christ found that 5 other groups or that 4 other groups came together to jointly convene a conference. And again, another piece of outcry was that this initiative to convene the AAC was hurried because we learned that this particular group was convening a conference in May. So we hurriedly decided to convene ours in July of 2023. Let me be clear here. The idea of convening an AAC, that's an All Amazonia Conference, was hatched in November of 2022. In November of 2022, when we held a meeting in London. It isn't today, but because we've wanted to mature, to do broad-based consultations, and to make sure that at the end of the day, where the conference will hold, the modalities for the conference will provide for the greatest possible participation by all Amazonians desirous of being part of this conference. That is why it took us all the time until last Sunday when we finally issued that communique convening the AAC. On this count, I really want to doff my heart to the SCNC, the Southern Cameroon's National Council, headed by Mr. Prizo Agbo, who is the acting national chairman. I want to congratulate and thank them because they discovered, or they took time off to analyze and realize that we are on the right path. And so the SCNC has come in and will be positing as a co-convener of this conference. That is the spirit that we are heading out there with, reaching out with willing parties, reaching out with those who understand the need for us to come together. But I must hurriedly say here that we are not obsessed with the idea of getting everyone completely on board at this stage. Sometimes some people must decide to defy the odds and begin and set out something. And when people decide to defy the odds to begin something, we expect opposition. We expect all the attacks that we are getting now. I heard some even attack my personal character and claim that they don't even know when I ever belonged to the consortium before becoming its president. I heard one particular audio of someone saying they heard that recently the consortium was reorganized and an election conducted, and of course I was elected president. That is true. In the consortium house, we don't make a lot of public noise about the things that happen within our house. Yes, true, we had a total reorganization of the consortium. We cleaned our texts, we set everything to make sure that, we sharpen our teeth to become more effective, more efficient, and to contribute better to the liberation of our homeland. And at the end of that reorganization, of course, it was sanctioned by an election. So there were 2 candidates for the position of president, that's Dr. Fontem Neba Afoteka and myself. And at the end of the election, where we all emerged winners, because that's the spirit in the consortium, I was elected president. But we are all working very closely with Dr. Fontem and everybody in the consortium to make sure that we deliver, we contribute tremendously in delivering to the people of Amazonia a free, strong, and prosperous country. This is the spirit we must be able to work with. I want to assure each and everyone that we are not oblivious to the fact that there will be these attacks, this sabotage. There will even be open calls on people not to contribute their money when we go out on the tour. We are aware of all of this. The spoilers will continue to struggle to spoil, but we will continue to march forward, because what matters at the end of the day is that we have a free country. I learned some accuse me of sometimes deciding to walk alone or oppose certain ideas where the majority, as they claim, are following those ideas and all of those things. And at the end of the day, and all whatnot, I will always be on things when their particular groups call for things, I will take the opposing side. Listen, folks, I don't intend this recording to be long. I intend this communication to be quite brief, because I want us, for the simple reason that I want us to inculcate some of these very important ideas. Listen, I'm going to share with us here a letter written by a former US president, President Lincoln of America. He wrote to his teacher's son, and he said the following things to the teacher. And his lecture was teaching his son, teaching the boy about life and the lessons of never giving up. And this is what he said. He said to the teacher, referring to his son, he said, he will have to learn, I know, that all men are not just. Listen, you have to learn that all men are not just. All men are not true. But teach him also that for every scoundrel, that's a trickster, there is a hero. Teach him that for every enemy, there is a friend. Try to give him the strength not to follow the crowd. Try to give him the strength not to follow the crowd when everyone is getting on the bandwagon. Once it is wrong, I will tell you, that it is wrong. Even if everyone is going that direction, I won't. For the simple reason that I have that conviction and I know it is wrong. This is the same thing Lincoln is asking the teacher to teach his son. Teach him how to laugh when he is sad. Teach him how to have faith in his own ideas, even if everyone tells him they are wrong. Teach him how to have faith in his own ideas, even if everyone tells him they are wrong. Teach him to learn to lose and also to enjoy winning, if you can. Teach him the secret of quiet laughter. Teach him the secret of quiet laughter. You notice, folks, this letter, again, like I said, was written by former US President Lincoln to the teacher of his son. So when you hear Lincoln tell the teacher, teach him that for every enemy, there is a friend. Try to give him the strength not to follow the crowd when everyone is getting on the bandwagon. Because Lincoln understands that the majorities are not always right. This is the truth. They are not also always wrong either. But get me right, the majorities are not always right. Now, if you want to inculcate this knowledge that I'm picking from Lincoln in our liberation struggle, you will understand, my dear people of Amazonia, that we have made a lot of mistakes along the line. There are instances that I found myself alone in this liberation movement. Not because I hated those who couched the ideas, but because I noticed that that direction was not the right one. Beginning all the way from Zaria, right up to today. And each time I've been so viciously attacked. But when it comes out that what I said was right, I don't recall anyone absolutely coming to say, oh, let's give credit to Mr. Kuro, because he has said that this was the wrong direction we were taking. On the contrary, at that time, people look for their heroes and look for the few things that they said at that time that could come close and say, this is the man that has said that. But listen, again, let me laugh. Again, those things don't worry me because I'm not after praise. No, 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 no. I'm not after praise. Yeah, that's why I don't have surrogates. That's why I don't have anyone on social media doing audios to defend me or doing audios to promote me, to say I'm the only or I'm this or that. No, that's why I don't have surrogates. Because one thing that burns in my heart and in my mind is that we get this freedom. I don't care who gets the glory. But the most important thing is that we get this freedom. But it will be difficult for us to get this freedom if we don't realize as a people that we are on our own. And when the people recognize that they are on their own, there are certain things that they do. There's a certain direction they take. There is a certain approach that they will adopt to all the challenges that come before them. The divisive individuals in this liberation movement are known. Everybody knows them. Nobody can pretend that they don't know those who are doing everything to divide us in this struggle. Those who are always quick to say others are collecting money from the government of Cameroon. Those who are always quick to say every gathering that you're having that is not organized by them is being sponsored by Atanga Ponji. Those who were quick to say that even those who were in Canada being sponsored by the Prime Minister's office in Yaoundé. But before the cock could crow 3 times, they were already swearing, I will be part of that negotiation process. My people of Amazonia, you have to stay woke. We have to be alert. We have to remain focused. We have to be determined to attain our objective. Otherwise, trust me, we will be wasting a lot of our time. Don't forget that when you are locked in a battle like this one, the only thing the enemy does is make sure they use people in your midst. They will use your family members. They will use your close friends. Sometimes they will use even your wife, your girlfriend, all kinds of acquaintances to you to break you down. La République du Cameroon has been generous on that. Yes. And they are reaching out to people in our liberation movement, telling this, if you are able to crush everybody, I will negotiate with you. And the next thing you do is you spend your time trying to subdue and subjugate everyone, just so that you stand a chance of being the sole one to negotiate with La République du Cameroon. Don't forget, they are not telling only you. They are telling others. Oh yes, when they tell you, they are telling your nemesis. For the simple reason that that will make it possible for you all, for us all to get locked in the battle against each other for hegemony among ourselves. And that gives La République du Cameroon room to subdue and to overcome us. I'm thinking that we have come of age and we are now understanding that the best way forward for us is to work together. The best way forward for us is to stop casting all those useless aspersions. The best way forward for us is to make sure we understand that we are not in this thing to love each other. We are not in a romance. We're in this thing to work together to secure a country, to free a stolen country, to take back our future, the future of our children, the future of generations upon generations of Southern Cameroonians to come. This broadcast this morning was simply informed by the fact that we need to, stay focused on the objective. I came here basically to draw the attention of each and everyone. When you hear all those audios insult you, attacking me, don't share them with me because I won't even respond to them. What you need to do, send them where they belong, to the trash. That's how you treat them. Send them where they belong, to the trash. Reach out to me to share ideas with me on how we can make the fundraising tour a huge success. Reach out to me to share ideas with me on how we can make the AAC a huge success. Reach out to me, share ideas with me on how we can better educate our people so that they continue to fight to free themselves from the evil pangs of La République du Cameroon, to free themselves from the genocide being visited on our people by La République du Cameroon. Reach out to me to give me details of the mass rape that the thugs of La République du Cameroon are organizing in our land, capturing young girls, in Bali, young girls and women alike, and taking them to the Bafut airport for their personal entertainment. When I'm here tomorrow, I will bring revelations that will embarrass you all. My people of Ambazonia, there is so much work for us ahead. We don't have time for useless distractions. That is why we must continue to shun them and stay focused on the key objective of our movement. So don't be surprised. Because when you are locked in a war like the one we are locked in with La République du Cameroon, there are very few people you trust around you. Very few people. Because many will come and stand and shout Ambazonia in the morning, Ambazonia in the afternoon, Ambazonia in the evening. But they are not with us. No, they are absolutely not with us. They are in here to play a specific role, that of making sure that we never put our act together. Because La République du Cameroon knows that each time we put our acts together, they are in trouble. And let me assure them that they are in trouble. The trouble ahead for them is enormous. They will not be able to bear it this time. Trust me on this, my people. Share this video communication as much as you can, because we need our people to be sensitized to this. Thank you very much for your kind attention. I'll be back here this Sunday. Oh, I know the time zone or the time difference is going to change this Sunday, March 12th. And so the time difference between the United States, or where I am, and ground 1, ground 0, ground 2 will go back to 5 hours. So my 2 p.m. will be 7 p.m. Amber time. And so therefore our broadcast tomorrow will not be at 9 p.m. Amber time, it will be at 7 p.m. Amber time. So that will be 2 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Amber time. So take the rendezvous. And until we meet again on this platform this Sunday, March 12th, and say this, tell it to all that you know to be part of that very important broadcast. Until we meet then, therefore tomorrow, it's have a nice day.